Eagle Mountain versus Saratoga Springs. Which one should you pick? Let's talk pros and cons, and I'll tell you what my buyers are saying active in the market today. Hi, I'm Becca Summers, your Utah realtor, and let's jump into it. So Eagle Mountain and Saratoga Springs are both located in Utah County, and they are both located on the west side of I-15 and the west of Utah Lake. They are very common when people are shopping, thinking about which area do I want to be, why do I want to be there, and if they need to be in North Utah County, they're definitely going to be on the list. The biggest pro for both of them is they were developed in the late 90s, mid 2000s, and have new construction happening right now. So you can get a newer house, more development, lots of shopping. That's the biggest pro for both of them. The con for both of them is they are on the west side, so it's going to be harder to get to I-15 because right now you currently have Pioneer Crossing, which is a nightmare to get across, Main Street, which is only two ways in a couple spots, and 2100, which is fantastic, but again, the congestion, because there's most of the growth is happening over there. Right now, Eagle Mountain is the fastest growing city in Utah, so tons of development, tons of growth, which makes traffic a nightmare. UDOT knows about it, they're working on it, but as we know, construction always lags behind growth because they can't spend the money before the people are there or people get upset. So that is probably the biggest con of Eagle Mountain or Saratoga Springs, but let's talk about the cities specifically and talk about pros and cons of each. So Eagle Mountain has a smaller population and has more land mass, so more ability to grow, and Eagle Mountain kind of has its own little sub-city within the city. So you have what is called the Ranches in Eagle Mountain, which is right up next to Saratoga Springs, and it's actually pretty close. I like to joke with some of my clients that the Ranches is closer to Saratoga than Saratoga is close to Saratoga. Saratoga is long and skinny, so it goes up at the top of the lake and goes almost midway down the lake. So if you live at the very end of Saratoga, it's going to take you a lot of time to get to Costco versus the ones on the Ranches getting over to Costco. It's a whole lot easier. So I like that area in terms of its location of getting into town, getting into shopping, and it's a little more affordable to be in Eagle Mountain versus Saratoga Springs because a lot of people when they are shopping are talking about commute time and how to get in and out of the city and how to get to their jobs, which a bulk of jobs are going to be in Lehigh or in Salt Lake. So to get to Lehigh or Salt Lake, Saratoga wins points for being slightly closer. Now Saratoga also has a bulk of the shopping. Saratoga is where the massive development is happening. Before this development happened, everyone had to go into Lehigh and American Fork to get everything, but now at this point, the only thing Saratoga is missing is a Target. So Target, if you're watching this, they're ready for you because there is a Home Depot, we have the home improvement, there's a Costco, there's Deseret Industries, which is like a Goodwill for the local area, so place to donate, and plenty of grocery stores and chain restaurants. There's not a ton of one-off restaurants. That I think takes time to develop, but Saratoga has a lot of it. When it comes to housing, Saratoga's median sales price is going to be about $500,000, and you're looking at a 2,300 square feet, 3-bed, 2.5 bathroom home. Bread and butter, see them all the time. There's also $1 million homes that are on the lake, and there's also the Talons Golf Course, which is beautiful, and so there's more higher end homes, but kind of the median sales price is about $500,000 to get into Saratoga. There is also condos that are $300,000 and townhomes that are $400,000. So Saratoga Springs, and I keep calling it Saratoga because that's what we call it as locals. No one actually says the full name. So if you're shopping, Saratoga Springs is affordable, has shopping, and has a great location in terms of getting closer to the freeway. It's slightly closer than Eagle Mountain. Now, when it comes to Eagle Mountain, you get a little more bang for your buck. So the median sales price for Eagle Mountain is the same at $499,000, so $500,000, but you're going to get a bigger home. You're going to get a 2,900 square foot home, 4 beds, 2.5 bathrooms. So you get a little bit more home, a little more space, and it's going to be roughly the same age as the home in Saratoga Springs. So Eagle Mountain also has City Center, which is about 15 minutes from the Ranches. Eagle Mountain itself is a very big city in terms of landmass, but if you are living in the Ranches or going to City Center, it's going to take you another 15 minutes to get there because there's a lot of space. The biggest perk with that is there is a lot of development happening in City Center, and there is a lot of affordable homes. If we're talking out in City Center, you can get a 3,000 square foot home for about $550,000, so a lot more bang for your buck. So if we're talking, we need space, we need yard space, and it's really cool because there's not a ton of light pollution out in City Center. It's a really cool area to live, and it has kind of its own vibe when it comes to views and mountains. It is pretty flat, and then it has views 360 degrees of different mountain peaks. So it's a beautiful area. There is a grocery store out there now. There's Macy's, and there's an Ace Hardware in City Center. So you really have kind of the basics of what you need. When I first started in real estate, there really wasn't a ton out there. There was a gas station, and that was about it. There was a taco truck. So that was helpful. But now really there's multiple stores. You have a Swig, which is important. You have grocery stores, you have food options and a couple gas stations. So you don't have to go as far. And when you do have to go into town, you're only about 20 minutes from Saratoga Springs with most of the shopping that you need. So the only thing that whole area is missing is Target when it comes to shopping. So at the end of the day, I feel like Saratoga Springs and Eagle Mountain are very similar in terms of what you're going to get in housing, and drive time is probably the worst thing about it. But if you're not commuting, bang for your buck in Eagle Mountain is probably going to be the winner. And if you are commuting, Saratoga is a little bit closer to the rest of the world. Thanks for joining us about our conversation with Saratoga Springs and Eagle Mountain. If you are exploring moving to Utah and want to know more specific neighborhoods, schedule a call with me. I'd love to jump on Zoom and talk exactly about what you're researching to help make the process easier.